back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here, and I hope this video finds you doing well. And if you're new to my channel, hi to you as well. Welcome to the community. I'm April, and I really want this place to be one that you come for enrichment and motivation, inspiration, and mentorship. I love this area to be one for all, to be of relaxation, reflection, empowerment, and a little bit of fun as well. So, how have you been doing? How has your year been going so far? I mean, I think we're in week 2 or 3 or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of running pretty fast. But yeah, just how are you doing? And let me know, right down there below. I would like to know if you started anything new, if you've been working on certain things, just how you've been, and, just really overall how you've been feeling. Also, as you can see, I have my big cup here today, so, we're going to get into a little bit of some things this video. So, if you haven't already, go ahead and place the video on pause, grab yourself a cup of whatever you like, and then come on back, unpause this, relax on in, and listen on in and enjoy. So, all right, let's see. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, of course, one of my favorite topics. And it has really become my favorite topic, I would say, over the last 6 months or so, which is all about self-care. Yes, this is not a groundbreaking aspect, mind you, but it is one that I would say after the previous year that we just had and some of the things that we're still dealing with through the remnants of that year, self-care has really been put up at higher levels than it has been in the past for me. How has that been for you? Have you had an opportunity to do that? Have you found yourself, looking at things in a way differently that where you're looking for things, how you promote how you're feeling and how you're doing and what's really working for you? And have you been looking at things that maybe what hasn't been working for you and trying to make some adjustments to that? Yeah, that's just kind of how it's been for me. It's interesting, and I guess a little bit of story time here. I would definitely say a type A person for pretty much all of my life. As far as from a kid on up, I've been a type A person. Things had to be structured and situated in such a way that allowed for definitely an understanding of the outcome and not to have so many surprises. That's just me. This is how I am. I think it works great for great work ethic, but it can allow you sometimes to not take stock in doing things that help better make you feel relaxed or enriched in ways that you may not necessarily focus so much on. So I'm just going to put this big heavy mug down here. So you're probably wondering, well, tell me a little bit more about that, April. At least I hope that's what you're wondering. So, I would say that as this year has begun, I have been really focusing in on things a little bit more strategic in the area of self-care and looking at things that promote just more of a wellness factor in all aspects of my life. So those times where I would really have that type A coat on and would work through hard charging through so many things, it was wonderful for whatever I may have needed to do at the time, but it was really kind of depleting for me, and I think that when you don't take the necessary time for yourself, it could really start to wane on you. And I don't know if you may always feel like you're, really showing up being your best self, right? I mean, a lot of us are really good at establishing a certain image and looking a certain kind of way in order to exude a certain presence. And sometimes that could be really how it is for you and authentic to how you're feeling in that moment. And sometimes it's not. And so many of us have to do that in our daily lives. And, I just really started taking a reflection in that area of and how that showed up for me in my life. So one of the things I really wanted to do was to really take self-care and put it at the top, if you will, or the peak of just however I was going to start off my day. And so some of the things that I have been really interested in doing and really have been practicing in that have really found its way in my daily routines. And I'm really proud of that, because it's one of those things where when you're pulling yourself away for so many different obligations, and we all do have them, whether you have kids or not, you're going to have obligations. You have obligations with your job. You have obligations with maybe other family members and friends, maybe obligations to yourself for things that you're trying to achieve that can take a lot of energy out of you and take a lot of focus from you. And I think it's really important that we take time for ourselves. And, I remember a time, not such distant time, where it just seemed to be, okay, yeah, all right, I'll go ahead and do this. Yes, I know I need to do some exercise, I'm sure. Yeah, well, it's good for you too, April. Yeah. Well, I got this to do. Or, yeah. I know I should take some time to, I don't know, sit back and read a good book or find a hobby that I like to do and enjoy. But you know what? I've got this huge project that I have to work on, or I have this, 1,000 phone calls to make, or just whatever the case may be. And really, what was happening little by little as I was just pushing away those things that really help to fortify you and really give you pleasure in life, so things don't seem so daunting when you go through them, especially in particular for things that are maybe not the most desirable things to go through. So self-care in that way has really shown up just with a great presence that just wasn't there before. So, I started looking at what type of things really interested me. And for me right now, fitness is one of those things that I'm really getting into now. The time when you start off a new program or project or something like that when it comes to fitness. And the very beginning sometimes can be very hard, very tasking, and you're just like, oh my God, I don't want to get up and do this. Oh, okay, well, maybe it's just me, I don't know. But yes, if you have ever felt like that, starting a new journey in fitness, drop me a yes down in the comments. I cannot be alone in this. But yeah, it's just so funny though, because fitness has been one of those things that more or less when I had to stay a certain way was for my job, literally. And so the motivation was just to keep yourself compliant, right? And that's great, and that's wonderful. There were a few times where I actually found enjoyment in whatever I might have been doing in that journey, but just not as much as I would have liked. And so that was something I focused on currently now. So you might reflect on one of my previous videos where I shared that I started a 30-day challenge for the month of January, which may glide into February, and that's okay because take rest and all those things that you need to get yourself ready to go. It's not a problem. And that's really what has been, I think, a true blessing in this facet of my fitness journey, is that I'm really just kind of taking it easy in that journey. I've come from a world where everything is on a check box, if you will, or a checklist, and you're checking that box. And you are making sure, did I do this, do I do that, do I do this, do I do that? And it's been like that all the time. And that's great. It's great when it's needed for certain obligations that need to happen by a certain time frame, that need to progress within a certain time frame. That's all wonderful. But it was coming to be something of using that hard charging way for me in the fitness area. It just became another thing that just wasn't enjoyable for me. I think it's great for those people who are so hard charging when it comes to fitness. I think it's wonderful. Take nothing from that. For me, I need to really make this a situation that really fed more into my lifestyle. So it became more of just something that I do versus another thing I have to do, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've really been enjoying the challenge and looking at other things that would actually benefit me in the fitness area, so I don't get bored, because sometimes I do get bored with things. So when I need to move on to something else, some interest, and that would allow me to sometimes stop sooner than I would want to, and then eventually stopping, something else gets in the way, and then I don't ever really get back to it the way that I intended to. And it's just one of those innocent things, right? It happens to us all. We get caught up in life, and we don't always take that time to go back when we step away. So I've been really cognizant of that. It's just making sure that it stays in the forefront for me as not just something I need to do, but something I want to do and I desire to do because it makes me feel good, because I feel more energetic, because I wake up in the morning excited, especially on a Monday morning. And that's a lot for me. I mean, that says a lot to me that I can do that and not feel so burdensome with getting up and having to sweat it out for an hour or so. So that is something I've been really enjoying, in that aspect of self-care. Another thing I've really been looking at, focusing on, is I have always loved reading. I love to write. I might have mentioned that a time or two. And reading is just such a great escape. I love all types of books, for the most part, but ones I usually go to, my guilty pleasures, are the romance ones and the mystery ones. I just love a good mystery. I love a good romance book, and therefore it also exudes into the movies as well. I just like an opportunity to be able to escape, to not think about whatever it is I have to do for the next, hour or so that I'm reading. And I just like getting lost in another world that doesn't require anything from me but just my attention, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, I've just really been pulling out some of those books and dusting them off, and just taking a little bit of time to enjoy a little bit of peace and a little bit of quiet from the very busy days that I have, and really honestly I've always had. I just didn't really prioritize myself. So now we're doing that. So I've been really enjoying that. Another element of self-care that I've been really just so proud of myself for, I'm one that's very interested in affirmations. I enjoy affirmations. Isn't that something? I mean, just being able to affirm something to yourself and just be able to kind of give yourself a moment of focus in that area of what you feel that you're lacking or wish to somehow embrace or embody in your everyday life. Affirmations to me has just really been one of those fun things to do. Oddly enough, it's such a quiet, peaceful moment, and I just really find myself enjoying that. It's not something I feel that takes away from, or in the sense that you don't know that you may be great at something or good at something or able to do something. It's not really about that. It's just about, for me, taking time to say supportive things that I really feel and really believe in. And it just is such a help in starting my day and getting through my day. It gives me a point of focus. And usually when I'm doing my affirmations, I always like to start off with things that I'm grateful for. I think it's really helpful when you kind of, for me, wake up the first thing in the morning and then I just automatically start thinking of 3 things I'm grateful for. And it could be just the simplest of things or the more complex of things for you. It just depends. Sometimes I'm thankful just the fact that it's a sunny day. Grateful that I saw a cardinal, which I absolutely love. That's my spirit animal, is a cardinal. And I just really like starting off my day in a way that just opens up in the realm of gratitude. And I just think that's so important. And it just makes things a little bit easier, and I feel a little bit lighter in my day. And I'm just excited about what I have to do. And and even if I'm not so excited, it's still okay. Affirmations is just great. And I love it. I really do love it. I'm really enjoying that. So if you're not into affirmations, maybe you'll take a look-see at actually one of my videos in regards to affirmation. I actually did a couple of them. So, one I'll leave at the end of this video, and then, you can always research affirmations yourself as well. I just really think it's just a great way of enhancing what is the vibration that you need to tackle your days and do whatever it is that you need to do. I think it's really great. So let's see. Another element of self-care that I have been really getting myself into, in addition to my affirmations, that I've really found it's helping out. Mind you, I've been doing this element for many, many years. But what I'm doing differently now is really connecting them to my affirmations, so it becomes more of a ritual thing every day that's enhanced in different ways. So affirmations associated with meditation, as well as I like looking up Bible verses and picking ones that really do connect with how I'm feeling for that day. And I like to read through those verses, and I just feel it's just a great way to connect spiritually for me. And then I like to add on to the affirmations, and then, just take some time in that meditation. Of course, before I start the verses, I do, again, start off with the things that I'm grateful for. I just think it's a really great opening to beginning my day, beginning that time. And it's really great for me because it's taking that time for myself, right? I'm not being called to do anything other than focusing on what it is that I am doing in that moment. It really does help to kind of move along some of the anxieties I may have throughout the day of certain things that I need to take care of. Maybe because I have a very robust schedule and I'm sitting there thinking, how on earth am I going to get all these things done? What am I going to do? If you feel like that sometimes, throw me a yes in the comment section, right? Because I cannot be alone in that. But it's just really nice to really set the stage of a day in the best way that you can. And understanding there's sometimes that you may not have an opportunity to do 3 or 4 different things first thing in the morning as you're getting up. It's great to have that routine and something to pull from. But understanding you might not always have that opportunity every day. And that's okay. I do think that you should still take some time to do something. So give yourself abbreviated routines in the morning. And I would definitely say, the gratitude portion, that should never go away. Because in order for you to be able to move through things and accomplish things, I think you really do need to be grateful for what you currently have and grateful for the abilities that you have to do what you need to do. So yeah, I think that it's great to embody that day in that space. And it doesn't have to take a very formalized way in doing that. You could just be sitting in your bed doing that. You could be brushing your teeth and thinking it. If you can't speak it out loud, it's fine. But just running through those things, I think it really just helps. And it just really helps support self-care. And another thing I think about when I think of self-care is being present. Being present in my life, being present for me. There's so many opportunities where I have to be present for others, and whether it is because I want to or I feel that I need to is, irrelevant. The fact is that I am, and I think that is so important to not forget that you have to take time to be present for you as well. You can't give your best if you're not doing the best for yourself. And I think that's really, really important. And at the end of the day, such aspect of self-care is not one that is new to us, right? I mean, we've heard it in so many different variations. We've heard it in ways of how you can look to de-stress. And so that's part of it, obviously, because you want to show up in the world in your best self. And I don't know for you, but for me, that's just something that I've been very connected to, and not just really showing up in an image area in a sense where I'm just kind of just putting on a face, because we all do it, sometimes you're not always feeling your best and you got to do what you got to do to get through the day. And that's understandable. But being able to take time to make some adjustments in your daily life in order to really allow you to exude how you're really feeling in that positive way, I think is extremely helpful. And honestly, we're worth it. We're just worth it. So yeah, I've been really enjoying the time that I have taken to look at different areas and finding out how can I find ways to boost my energy, to fortify myself, to feel like I am getting some kind of pleasure out of what it is I'm doing. And it doesn't really matter that I may not feel that way about the whole entire process of whatever it is that I'm working on, but if I could just find some kind of joy in that, even if it's just the fact that I was able to accomplish it, I think it just brings my vibration and my sense and just to higher levels. And I just think that's great. It's a great place to be. There's just so much going on, and there's so much things, that concept garbage in, garbage out type stuff, and we intake so much information throughout the day. And, we also sometimes are surrounded by, a variance of individuals. And I think we really do need to take stock in how our energy is being expended in those moments, and looking for ways to really say yes to yourself and no to other things instead of no to yourself and yes to everything else. It's okay to put yourself first at times, and it's not a selfish thing. It's a necessary thing. And if you want to be the best for everything and everyone, I just don't see how that's going to happen if you're not being the best for yourself. So yeah, I just really think it's just such a wonderful concept if you can find a routine or a regimen that allows you to really just embody the concept of self-care, and just really enjoy it too, not feeling like it's just something else you need to do. And I don't care what anybody says. Bottom line is, yes, I know we got people who are hard chargers. I'm one of them. I'm not gonna say I'm a reformed hard charger. I'm just gonna say I've modified some things, and I did that because that was good for me, and that is really what has to be important. I know for me, I've spent a lot of time putting others in front and not always taking that time to stop and reflect on even what I want to do or how I want to be. And that's great for the short term, but I just don't think that's something that works really well lifelong. So I would really love to know what kind of things you guys are doing as far as self-care is concerned, and whatever it is, that works for you is great. I'm gonna start taking walks again on the outside. I suffer from allergies, and this has been hurling for the last few months, but that's okay. I'm just waiting for the temperature to kind of warm up a little bit, and I'm going to start getting back into that. I used to enjoy doing that. It was such a wonderful way to clear your mind and just really give you new perspective on things. And nothing else, just made you feel less foggy, And I think that's another attribute of self-care. You just feel freer to make different decisions or better decisions that involve things that make life a little easier for yourself. And I do think that that's important. It's just as important as you showing up for somebody else, right? So at the minimum, you should feel that way for you. So I tell you, this self-care thing, man, it really isn't a fad. It is here to stay. And it's here to stay because, you know what, for me in my life, I said so. No one's going to take care of me better than me, right? And no one's going to take care of you better than you. So you've got to find those times. And, there's this saying that we make room and time for things that we find important. So make self-care that thing, And it doesn't have to be some, higher sense of level aspect, It could just be just taking a walk, maybe 3 times a week. It could just be reading a book. It could just be, if you like to draw, just taking some time to sketch. It could be just doing whatever it is that allows you a moment of restoration, an opportunity to debrief and kind of just escape from the day without having to necessarily get in your car, pack up, and go to another location to do that. Which, I cannot wait until those days come back. Because I've got a list ready for all the locations I want to start, and it's getting lengthier and lengthier as time goes on. But I tell you what, it's just been, this year so far, it's just been, I don't know, it's been okay, we're, I think 2 or 3 I said earlier, I don't even know, but that's okay too, progress is great, and I'm doing progression in certain areas, and I think that's just, it really feels good to start off a new year that way, and I just hope that that's the same for you. I hope that things are, coming along for you, and don't get so uptight and caught up in things that they're not going just as perfect as you would like them to be. I know there was a lot of energy, obviously, with the change of the year to really kind of hit the road running, or hit the road, hit the ground running. See? You know what I mean. But yeah, and it's great, and I'm all about that. I'm here for that. I just really think that you just make sure that you take some time to take time for yourself, and yeah, make sure that you're a priority on that list as well. You know, at the end of the day, if you can't show up for yourself, I just don't really think how well you're going to show up for others. Yeah. So I am so glad that you were here to take a little time with me and have a little chat. And I'd love to know how you guys again are doing. So, leave me some comments down below. Tell me some things that you're doing in self-care. What does that look like to you? What are some things that you maybe hadn't been doing and started doing and that it's working for you? I think it's great when you can share information like that, because you never know who it may help, right? So, yeah. And I have to say, I am just really enjoyed today's video. I hope that you did too, and I'm so glad that you took some time again to be here. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and come back for some more next time. And remember, if you are new here and you haven't subscribed and joined our wonderful community, I hope that you will consider it and then do it. And make sure that you have that notification all bell on so you do not miss an upload. And yeah, if you're enjoying the video, enjoying this type of conversational chatting topics and such, please give this video a like. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel. And yeah, and again, I, with sincerity, really want Motivation Suite to be one of those places that you come to for just some relaxation, some reflection, again, if need be, just some uplifting and just some fun. So yeah, I guess with that, I will bid you adieu. And again, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.